The NBA is officially back. The first week is complete, and you know what that means. It's time to form our opinions and beliefs about every single team and player based off the very small sample size that we have. And no, I will not be changing my opinion at all after this video. First things first, is Anthony Davis the MVP? The Lakers have started 3-1 and AD is averaging 33 points per game, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game, shooting 55% from the field. Man, so far Anthony Davis looks different, bro. I think Coach JJ Redick has had a really good influence on this team because the Lakers roster hasn't really changed at all, and that was like a big, talking point over the summer because they didn't really make any moves, and it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, obviously your team needs to improve. And all the changes that they made was they hired JJ, and so far, it's been working. I think what has really changed is Anthony Davis's usage rate has skyrocketed to 30% in his first 3 games, and it's evident that the Lakers are running offense through him, making sure every possession Anthony Davis touches the ball, whether as a screener or a paint touch, and they're just trusting him to make the right choice. He's being very aggressive, and he's been consistent, which has been like the real point against Anthony Davis so far as his Lakers tenure is he would have good games and then bad games and just not be consistently great, and he has always been able to be this good. It's just so far he's been really good in every single game. He's been aggressive in every single game, and obviously his defense is Defensive Player of the Year worthy. Take number 2, the Nuggets are bad, bro. Through 3 games, the Nuggets are 1-2. They just won against the Raptors in overtime last night, and bro, let me tell you, I wish they didn't win because they did not deserve this win. The Raptors were leading basically the whole game, and we just had a bunch of turnovers and stupid mistakes in the last 2 minutes when we were up by 10 points, and the Nuggets were playing a little bit better in overtime. But bro, obviously Jokic is great. Back-to-back 40-point games, but Jokic scoring 40 points, obviously it's impressive. His touch around the rim is amazing. It always has been. But that's not how the Nuggets win games, man. And it's really evident that they are not a good shooting team. Jamal Murray, MPJ, Aaron Gordon. This team is 27th in the league in field goal percentage, only shooting 41%. And they're 28th in scoring so far through 3 games. And obviously Jokic scoring 40 points in back-to-back games, it's great. But he's also having to play 43 minutes in this last game because as soon as he gets off the floor, the Nuggets offense looks terrible, bro. And it's not just the bench. Like, okay, let's talk about the bench. Russell Westbrook has not been good. His first good game yesterday against the Raptors, but even then, he had a 0-point game so far. Their bench, it just looks really bad, bro. Peyton Watson, Dario Saric, Julian Strawthard, these guys have not really been playing very well so far. Of course, like I said, Jamal Murray in this last game, he had the clutch layup, a reverse layup to go to overtime, but he was playing pretty badly, bro. 6 of 20. His jumper has just not been falling this year so far, and the Nuggets, if they don't improve their bench somehow or make some sort of trade, I don't even know what they can trade, they are just not looking really good, man. Now let's do some rapid fire takes. First of all, the Suns. The Suns defense will never be able to be good enough with Jusuf Nurkic as their center. These last 2 games, they've pulled Jusuf Nurkic and he has not played any minutes in the 4th quarter. Shout out to Ryan Dunn, however, because he has been really good defensively so far against LeBron and Luka in these first couple games. He's also been shooting threes, which is really, really helpful for the Suns. But yeah, man, Jusuf Nurkic, not a good center. Will the Hawks ever not be mid? They are 2-2 so far, and they just lost to the Wizards. But shout out to Dyson Daniels playing really good defense over there. Chet Holmgren has been super impressive so far. 23.7 points per game, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 steals, and 4 blocks so far, bro. He has just been super impressive. Obviously, defensively, he's been amazing. But offensively, his shot creation and his ability to finish plays and create for himself as well and shoot threes, like, bro, this OKC team is OP and they might win 65 games because they almost won 60 last year and they have only gotten better. Speaking of winning teams, the Celtics are 4-0. Tatum started off super hot in the first 3 games, and then he had kind of a stinker game against the Bucks last night. But it didn't even matter because Peyton Pritchard went off for 28 points and 8 threes. And that's really the Celtics, bro. in the first game of this season, they tied the record for the most threes made in a game. And they had 10 minutes in the fourth quarter to beat that record, and they just couldn't, which is just so funny. But they have the ability to shoot at such a high volume, and they are the number one team in three-point percentage so far through 4 games. Like, their volume and percentage on three-pointers is just insane. They don't even have Porzingis back yet. Tatum, Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard. I mean, these guys defensively as well are also one of the best units in the league. They are consistent. They know how to play with each other. They're very connected and very well coached. And honestly, even after the very first game of the season against the Knicks, it seems like it's a Celtics back-to-back year. Shout out Jeremy Sohan and Julian Champagnie, the 2 best Spurs players so far. And I want to highlight that through 3 games, Wemby has not been amazing. He had a 29-point game, but he's also had pretty poor shooting games in his other 2 games. So that's just something to look out for. Shout out to Norman Powell, 37 points. Shout out to Buddy Hield, who has been playing really good so far this season. It's kind of incredible, and it's such an obvious duh moment that Buddy Hield would work so well in the Warriors system, and he has so far. Also, shout out Klay Thompson, who he hasn't looked washed so far. He has not looked washed. He's averaging almost 20 points per game so far and hitting 45% of his threes, attempting around 11 per game. All right, let's go. Some even more quick takes. Paolo had the first 50-point game of the year. Super impressive. He is good. Halliburton's shot has not been hitting, and he's attempting a lot of threes and not hitting them. He also had a 0-point game. Not good. Shout out Cam Thomas, averaging 30. Cavs are 4-0. They get a thumbs up from me. Shout out to them. Shout out to Zubac. Might be the second best center in the league behind AD. And what's up with the Bucks, man? They are 1-3. Their only win has been against the beaten up 76ers, and they've lost to the Bulls, the Nets, and the Celtics. Obviously, the Celtics are a really good team, but the Nets? The Bulls? Come on, bro. Like, their defense has not been looking good. Their perimeter defense is really bad because in every single one of these 3 losses, first of all, the Celtics had Peyton Pritchard drop 28 on them. The Nets had both Dennis Schroeder and Cam Thomas going for 30, basically. And in the Bulls game, you got Zach LaVine and Kobe White going for 30, pretty much. Like, their perimeter defense is really bad, and their interior defense is pretty bad too. Like, Brook Lopez is not the defensive player he used to be. He can't move very well. Bobby Portis as well, not very good defensively. And in the Celtics game, you got Dame and Giannis going for 30, and yet it didn't really matter. Like, the Bucks might be in trouble. And if you want to hear more about the Bucks and some of the other teams I mentioned today, I have a weekly NBA recap podcast coming out with my friend Samuel on his channel this week and on my channel next week. So go check that out for a longer form content video where we just talk about teams and overreacting to the first week. So yeah, I'll link that in the description below. Take a look at that, please, and thank you for watching.